want to talk about how much whiskey I just got on my blazer. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us here on a weekly Whiskey After Hours episode. You're catching this on a bright and shining Thursday morning. Hope you all have had a great week and you're coming into the weekend with something great to drink. Jay and I've got something pretty good to drink here tonight we're going to talk about with you. Before we get into that, though, let's just say hey to Jay and catch up a little bit. What's going on, buddy?
Man, I'm so glad it's almost Friday. It's good that it's Thursday here, one of my favorite days of the week. Typically no meetings on Thursdays sometimes, so I'm pretty jazzed. That's about it for me.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Good introduction to what's going on with you over there. I like being able to keep tabs on you too. Check in with you on your Thursdays. Make sure you're not doing anything too wild.
Yeah. I mean, because it used to be just Tuesdays we'd see each other, but now on Thursdays, you don't see me covered in cuts and with a raccoon stuck to me. I haven't been up to anything crazy. It's usually just doing some editing and hanging out and obviously drinking some whiskey. So what are we drinking tonight?
Well, speaking of drinking the good whiskey, we got ourselves I think I have the bottle. I do have the bottle right handy. Let's look at this.
Look at you.
So let's go ahead and take a little look here at the new limited edition Maker's Mark 101 proof. Yours is going to be a little bit in better focus than mine because mine is cockeyed, per usual.
Okay. I'll hold mine up here. Oh yeah.
So this came out nearish the end of 2020. And man, I really think that they did a good thing with this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think this came out. Oh man, it was right as I was buying a house, September, October. So yeah, tail end of the year.
Yeah.
It's
towards the end.
It used to be a travel retail, and they brought it back home. I don't know if that's because people weren't buying it abroad, but I'm happy we get to buy it here. It's still no age statement, but it's at 101 proof, which fans of whiskey may recognize from other products on the market.
I don't think it says it on the bottle, but I swear this is also non-chill filtered.
All I know is that it says limited edition.
It does, in fact, say that.
When I found it for $40, I thought that meant that it was immediately going to double in price.
It doesn't say it on the bottle, but I will all but promise you that this is non-chill filtered. I remember reading it on the website.
Excellent.
Or maybe it was in the press release. I guess I can't recall where it was, but it was somewhere from Makers. And I think this carries a seriously improved profile over their standard product.
Yeah, I mean, diving in here, so this bottle's really full. It's my second one. I could not just resist having a single one of them. One of my complaints about Makers has always been that it's been too low a proof. Give me the cask strength. The cask strength have been amazing. We've been talking about that. But 100 proof, Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, perfect place for it to be. So I'm pumped that they finally gave us something, that we were kind of asking for off on the sidelines for a while.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is a step up in texture and flavor. And while this is, I think, the exact same distillate that would go into the standard Maker's batch, just not being filtered and a few more proof points really does change the whole product. It comes through with a much different profile.
It really does.
Overall, man, it's a little bit toasty, a little bit more than a little sweet. It's carrying a good amount of a light brown sugar, and
it has a very
little
faint
bit of syrup to it.
I'm trying to think of the right way to describe it. It's not. So when you say peanuts, everyone immediately thinks Beam Funk because
right.
I get it. Those two things are very, very adjacent to each other. But this has a very, very light peanut butter, caramel, praline, waffle batter, cocoa note. And it's all very, it's not super strong, but they blend together. Really desserty, really nice, with just that hint of nutty complexity that I like from some of those big desserts.
Yeah, good vanilla cream. I get what you're saying on the nuttiness too, sort of how some Heaven Hill stuff is going to carry a little bit of nuttiness, and it's not the same as a Beam nutty. It's not that straight up peanut. But
honestly, so if I was drinking this blind, I would call this ECBP light, Elijah Craig barrel proof light, which sounds a lot like Elijah Craig, the normal bourbon, but those really extreme, just dialed in extracted flavors that we get in Elijah Craig barrel proof, are here, but a little bit softer, that praline, that a little bit, a lot of those dessert notes, a little bit of nuttiness, but it's not like Knob Creek, which is just peanut brittle, for days sometimes.
Right. Yeah, and this is a little bit of that liquid candy bar style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see this kind of being like ice cream shops, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. So,
Yeah,
let's see. So this is $40 where I am. I'm in Wisconsin. How expensive is this by
40.
you, John? 40?
Yep, 40
Okay.
as well.
I
And I
can't
mean,
think
it
of
comes in
many.
a little box and everything,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you
I
know
got
it's
the
good.
box. I unpacked it. I threw the box over my shoulder.
You
Got
threw
to
it
the
right away.
bar.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it. I think actually I packed something in it when I moved, so the box is still here somewhere, probably to my fiance's chagrin. But yeah, I mean, $40 for a limited edition is not. I mean, old tub to the side, like, but
right.
old tub is its own
Well, yeah, I
beast
mean,
in so many ways.
yeah, 300,000 bottle limited edition is also in a
Yeah,
whole different class.
yeah, exactly. Like the consumption of the nation of Kazakhstan, like in a single release. But
Right.
um, you know, old tub aside, like this is probably one of the lesser expensive limited editions that is also good and like something I wanted. Like sometimes the limited comes out and I'm like, but why? You know,
Yeah,
like you had a limited edition slot and you made this, but this is something that I've really been wanting more. Like I've wanted Maker's Mark to release a higher proof spirit for a long time, and
Makers
they're
kind of kicked the shit out of 2022, man. I mean, they put out the second iteration of their wood finishing series,
yep,
the SE4 PR5,
yep,
which is the the predecessor or
yep.
successor to RC6. Jeez,
RC6.
I can't keep all their numbers and letters straight.
It's like
But the
RC.
second batch in their wood finishing series, and I thought that was great.
Mhm.
I really liked RC6. I thought it was like, rambunctious and totally off profile for makers, like a whole brand new product in a way that I wouldn't have expected. And the 2020 version I thought was really, really cool. Like, again, totally off profile for makers, but in a totally different direction too. So they're doing good stuff with that. They also released the 10-year anniversary edition of their Makers 46 at Cask
Oh,
Strength.
that's right. I forgot about that.
So they've just been kicking the shit out of it, man. They dropped a ton of great stuff, and it's all like low key, really great whiskey that you don't really hear a
Yeah.
ton about, and you don't see it blow up everywhere. But
And you can
it's
afford
available.
it.
It's priced good, right?
Like yeah, Maker's Mark like showed the fuck up in 2020. And I hope they do the same thing in 2021. It reminds me of, like I don't know, if we've all had that one friend for like years. You invite them for a barbecue and like everyone brings all this food and they bring like, I don't know, like 20 red solo cups. And you're like, okay, thanks for coming. You brought
Yep.
nothing,
Appreciate you.
This is like that guy showing up with like every food imaginable and then also like a rack of ribs or something, like above and beyond in 2020. Especially, yeah, I mean the cast strength, I've been talking about them a bunch on Whiskey Raiders, but I mean between the 101 and the cast strength and the SR4 PR5, did I get the right?
SE4,
SE4. I mean,
perhaps.
okay, so their naming could use some work, but like, I mean,
Yeah,
the bourbon inside is fantastic, and you can afford it, which is, in a world ruled by Michters and Dan Winkles and stuff, is not something to take for granted.
for sure. They did recognize and address the naming scheme. I mean, the first edition was just RC6, which made no sense. Nobody really got it. I mean, the stave profile outside of their R&D lab doesn't mean a ton to us as the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So this year's edition, when they just called it the 2020 limited edition, and
That
then the
helped.
small text is, wood finishing series, and then it has the stave profile in there for the people who want to look at that, which is great. So they did address that a little bit. I mean, they would have, I think, taken a lot of abuse. You've seen some of the labels hit the TTB for what they're talking about for next year. I reached out to makers and heard back from their PR that that's not set in stone, that they just kind of throw a lot of stuff at the wall just in case that is what they end up doing. So
Okay.
I think that was their polite way of saying, like, that might be it, but we're not really ready to sign off on it yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's all very fair. It's good to experiment and kind of figure out what makes sense and what people like. But personally,
Totally.
as far as we're talking, I don't know about you. I'm giving the 101 a thumbs up. I think it's great.
Big thumbs
It's
up,
$40. It fixes all the things that I wanted makers to fix for years now. And I could
it
find
makes
it.
me want to buy it.
So I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm in, man. Totally.
Cool. Well, I think that wraps up another After Hours. It's probably time we get to bed. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure to find John at the Bourbon Finder. You can find me at whiskyraiders.com. We're talking about whiskey. We're rating it all day long. New reviews, and we will see you on Tuesday again for another live stream. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Take care.